Hi, hello. I finally bought some hair product to control my frizz and it seems to work quite well now. 我卒之今日咧買到一支搽頭髮嘅嘢，可以控制嗰啲飛出嚟嘅飛毛毛啦。咁所以咧係啦，咁我頭先搽咗好似都 OK 咁樣樣。So I will like see how it goes like after I wash my hair tomorrow and you know like if it actually works throughout the day。咁我聽朝早係啦，洗完頭之後睇下係咪真係可以全日都唔使再好多毛毛周圍飛咁樣樣，成個癲婆。So I've been walking around like a crazy。Kind of like with hair flying around ever since I've arrived in Colombia 咁其實嚟咗哥倫比亞之後一路都係啲頭髮就係唔係好搞得掂啦咁所以希望呢支嘢可以幫到我啦。What did I do today? So in the afternoon I went with schoolmate and then like we had a great lunch because like this place that serve like typical Colombian food。Right around the corner of the school and it's very cheap and it's very good and I've been like craving to go back and have lunch there again and so like we did it today because it's the last day of my school today。咁學校附近有間餐廳咧係食地道即係哥倫比亞菜啦，本地人都好多人去食嘅。咁我之前食過一次好好食，咁我一路都好想翻去食啦。咁因為今日我係最後一日翻學上堂啦，咁所以我就同啲同學講完咗不如去食嘢啦咁所以我哋就去咗食，咁好開心。And then afterwards, three of us went to this sort of like it's a fake tourist town. Like they remake sort of like a small village town, you know, like on the top of a hill, like in a park and.Which is also served as kind of like a viewing platform of the city. And so the few of us just went up there and take photos and chill and chat and have a walk. 咁晏晝我就食完飯之後就同咗另外兩個同學啦，咁我哋就去咗有一個即係山頂公園仔咁樣樣，咁唔係好高嘅山，即係咁就其實佢係公園仔，但係入邊咧佢就做咗一個假嘅以前佢哋啲村咁嘅鎮啦，其實都係啲即係挨遊客地區咁啦，咁但係佢主要其實係睇風景嘅，都係即係佢可以望落去睇到成個山谷，成個即係個城市係點樣咁我哋就係啦，去咗嗰度啦，行啦，傾偈啊咁樣，咁咪睇下風景啊咁跟住就係啦，各自翻屋企啦。And then like we just return home separately, but with one of the girls said tomorrow morning we're going to join a free walking tour in the city centre。咁聽日市中心我同另外一個同學，我同其中一個女仔啦，咁我哋兩個就參加咗個免費嘅啲步行嘅導賞團咁樣樣啦，咁So I mean like she speaks very good Spanish already。咁嗰個女仔其實講西班牙文講得好好㗎啦，已經咁。She's like in the advanced class，咁佢係喺進階班嘅咁。And I'm still kind of like you know in the beginning。咁我啱啱開始啫都係咁。But we've decided that we're going to take a Spanish tour。咁但係我都係決定咗我哋參加西班牙文團啦，because like I've just finished class already and then like it's good to continue to immerse in the language and challenge myself a little bit。咁我就覺得都係好嘅，因為上完咗6個禮拜堂啦，咁我就會即係開始唔去上堂啦，即係會唞2個禮拜啦去玩啦咁都希望自己盡量都仲繼續聽多啲西班牙文咁，所以就好啦，我哋就報西班牙文團啦，因為其實佢都係唔收團費嘅，係即係完咗俾 tips 咁樣嘅啫。Because like it's a free walking tour, you only have to tip the guide afterwards. So like I just thought even if I couldn't understand nothing, like it's still kind of worth just to walk around like with somebody showing us around。咁就算即係我一句都聽唔明都好啦，咁但係起碼都叫有個人帶我哋周圍去行下咁樣樣咯。And hopefully it wouldn't like be like zero kind of like understanding。咁我希望我唔會零明白啦，我希望我係會即係都會明到啲啦咁樣樣。咁啊 I will tell you like how much I can understand tomorrow。咁我聽日就會話俾大家知我到底明到幾多啦咁樣。So yeah, and this is it, and let's get into the reading. 咁我哋正式開始啦。Read to Resist, Day 238。當閱讀也是抗爭，第238日。A Concise History of Hong Kong by John Mark Carroll。香港簡史，從殖民地至特別行政區，著者高馬可，譯者林立偉。In October 1879, Chief Justice John Smale condemned the Muay Thai practice for violating British and Hong Kong laws prohibiting slavery. Smale estimated that between 10,000 and 20,000 girls were enslaved in Hong Kong. The more I penetrate below the polished surface of our civilization, he declared, the more convinced am I that the broad undercurrent of life here is more like that in the southern states of the America, when slavery was dominant, than it resembles that all-pervading civilization of England. Smale's attack caused a stir among the Chinese community, and less than 2 weeks later, a group of the Chinese community merchants petitioned Governor Hennessy for permission to form an association to protect kidnapped women and children. After reminding Hennessy of Charles Eliot's proclamation of February 1841, guaranteeing Chinese in Hong Kong the right to practice their traditional customs, the petitioners went to great lengths to explain the difference between kidnapping and the Muay Thai system. They also warned that banning the system would lead more poor families in Guangdong to practice another traditional Chinese custom, drowning unwanted female babies at birth. 1879年10月，正案察司司馬理 John Smale 指束皮風俗抵觸英國和香港禁止奴隸制的法律。司馬理估計香港有1-2萬名女孩為奴婢。他說：我看穿我們文明光鮮亮麗的表面，看得越深，越相信此地生活的廣闊底層暗流，彷彿像黑奴盛行時代美國的南方國州，多於近似英國的普世文明。司馬理的抨擊引起華人社會物議沸騰。不到2週，一批華商就上書港督軒尼詩，請准成立保護被拐賣婦孺的機構。這些商紳提醒軒尼詩，義律在1841年2月發出的公告，表明香港華民可奉行其傳統風俗，又不厭其詳解釋有拐販賣與束皮習俗之間的差別。他們還警告，禁止束皮會迫使廣東貧苦之家實行另一個傳統風俗，溺殺不想要的女嬰。Many people in Hong Kong felt that Smale had unnecessarily condemned a perfectly acceptable, time-honored Chinese custom. Complicating matters was the ambiguous status of the Muay Thai within the adoptive household, half servant, half family member, with some Muay Thai even eventually becoming concubines and inheriting a husband's wealth. And one of the cardinal rules of British colonial administration was that tampering too much with native customs could be risky. But critics considered the system a form of slavery that often encouraged sexual abuse. Defenders, however, insisted that the girls were treated as family members and that the system saved girls from prostitution. 司馬理譴責這種行之已久、廣為人接受的華人習俗，許多人覺得是多此一舉。令事情更為複雜的是妹仔在領養家庭中的地位曖昧，半是僕人，半是家人。有些妹仔最後被立為妾，並繼承了丈夫的財產。英國殖民地政府的最高行事方針之一是過分干涉土著風俗可能帶來風險，但批評者認為束皮是往往會助長性侵犯的奴隸制，而辯護者則稱婢女所受的對待如同家人，並且全靠這種制度，這些女孩才免於淪為娼妓。So this is the ending of today's reading。咁啊，今日讀到呢度啦。I want to talk a little bit about this Muay Thai system。咁我想講少少關於呢個妹仔嘅習俗啦。咁 My grandmother told me about it. 咁阿嫲同我講㗎啦，當然就係 because I grew up with my grandmother, of course, like she would tell me a lot about this like ridiculous Chinese so-called custom. 咁佢會同我講呢啲咁嘅所謂即係極度荒謬嘅所謂習俗啦咁樣樣。And like the last sentence of this paragraph was talking about like how the defenders say the Muay Thai system keep these girls from prostitution, like from being sexual workers. 咁讀嘅呢一段最尾啱頭先讀就係話呢個習俗咧點樣可以即係嗰啲辯護者就話點樣咧可以令到呢啲妹仔就唔使咧淪為風塵啊，即係佢哋就唔使變成性工作者，佢哋咧就即係可以即係成為咗妾侍啊，或者即係有個家啦，即係咁樣樣。But I want to say like just being sexually abused by one person or one family doesn't mean that they are not in some sort of sex industry. You know what I mean? Because it's just that you buy these girls for your own personal sexual use, and there's still sex industry. 咁我想講就係你買個妹仔翻嚟，俾你一個人或者你一家人嚟到性侵，其實都係性工作或者性工業或者係性罪行啦，基本上。And I begin to think like I recently I have been thinking there were quite a few cases about like this horrific like father sexually assaulting their little girls. Like when I say little girls, it's like girls under the age of 10 and like really small children. 咁最近都有幾單即係呢啲判刑啊，或者係即係審訊關於啲老豆就去性侵個即係自己個女啦，即係勁細嘅時候就已經開始性侵啊咁樣樣啦咁。And it's horrifying to see like how one of the judges 咁我覺得最得人驚嘅係乜嘢？就係其中有一個法官 when reading sort of like his judgment, commenting of course like all this horrific action of the man. 咁即係佢就即係判刑嘅時候就即係佢個判詞裡面提到，即係其中一個嘅即係呢啲咁嘅男人啦嚇，咁就即係講佢嘅即係罪行嘅時候啦咁。And it mentioned like the guy wasn't really using violence because it was coercion and it's not violence, you know, while like he was actually like forcing the girl to perform oral sex on him or you know like and touching him and all that, right? So in this judge's eyes, without penetration means without violence. 咁即係嗰個法官就喺度講緊即係佢其實咧都冇真係用到使用暴力啦咁樣樣，即係因為佢淨係即係佢係即係所謂逼佢或者教唆佢或者即係係啦，總之就係要個女幫佢，即係可能進行口交或者點樣，但係佢可能冇去即係侵犯，即係所謂侵犯佢啦嚇，即係。And I got really mad about that and just have to say it. Sex violence, sexual violence is violence. 性暴力係暴力，性暴力就係暴力。我唔理你係即係點樣嘅侵犯嘅形式，點樣去強迫一個人去進行任何性行為都係一種暴力。No matter how you force a person like without their consent, that they are not willing to perform some sort of sexual acts, no matter how you do it, if they are unwilling, that is violence, that is sexual violence, and it is a form of violence. But I want to say maybe like this sort of mentality, this sort of thinking actually stems from this sort of like so-called Chinese custom of the Muay Thai, you know, like selling girls, you know, like to serve other family and become, you know, sort of like a maid and also like the future wife of the kid that they have been taking care of. Like it's just sick. 咁即係同樣式又好，妹仔又好，即係呢啲賣女去即係將個女賣出去，然後就係 等佢變咗人哋嘅老婆，或者即係啦，佢賺錢翻嚟，即係就係佢攞咗啲錢就係即係老豆老母就去生活，或者養個細佬，或者養個阿哥咁。咁呢啲根本就係令人發指同埋即係超級討厭嘅，同埋即係底蘊裡面就係歧視女人嘅行為啦，就係咁樣樣。So yeah, this is what I want to say. I mean, just reading about this it's like it's so interesting. I mean, in class we also talk about gender this morning in our Spanish class. 咁我都幾有趣，因為讀到呢啲嘢我就好敏感啦，係咪？咁但係即係今日我哋西班牙文堂嘅溝通堂，即係會話堂嘅時候，就老師定嘅題目就係講性別啦。咁所以我哋就討論咗一堆，即係係啦，即係男女啊，即係呢啲嘢啦咁樣。And I just realized how as a woman we are always it's like whenever we talk about being stalked or having sort of a certain kind of story about feeling insecure in the city, being followed by other people, at night, or some sort of any kind of any form of sexual harassment, and and every single woman, every single girl has a story to tell, at least one story to tell. 咁我就成日都係無論去到邊見到乜嘢人，即係遇上乜嘢國家嘅女性，幾大都好，總係行埋提到每一個人都會講到最少一個故仔係關於身處喺即係呢個社會，我哋可能即係有過嘅驚險嘅故事啦，俾人跟嘅故事啦，或者覺得好唔安全嘅故事啦，或者係俾人性騷擾或者性侵嘅故事啦，每一個人都有咁樣樣。And it makes you think a lot about what does it mean to be a woman in this world, even in 2022。咁係即係成日都令我思考，即係過去呢一年諗好多，因為我離開維也納呢個人權課程嘅其中一個原因都係同性騷擾有關嘅。And it makes me think a lot about it this recent this past year, because one of the reasons that I have to leave the master program in Vienna has something to do with sexual harassment as well. And so it's just really present for me, this issue, this topic and this theme. 咁所以對我嚟講係即係有好多思考啦，即係關於女性點樣處身喺呢個社會，點樣身處我哋所面對嘅嘢係好多時候男人係唔會明，同埋即係佢哋唔會遇到嘅，因為 But anyway, so this is the reading of today. 咁今日就讀到呢度啦。And then tomorrow I will let you know how much did I actually how much I actually understand in the Spanish walking tour. 咁聽日再同大家見面嘅時候，就會話俾大家知到底我咧明幾多呢個西班牙文嘅導賞團啦。See you again tomorrow. Bye.